Hello, everyone. A warm welcome to our Eileen Fisher Women Together Connect. I'm here with you all today, actually from Austin, Texas. So excuse the background noise if you hear any. I'll be speaking here at a conference. So it's a joy to be together in, for me, a slightly different location, but still coming together in this Zoom room, which allows us to really be in circle together and really connect with each other in ways that allow us to just hold the thread of connection. Today's theme is on resilience and renewal. So for those of you who may not know, we are gathering regularly, pretty much weekly for the last 2.5 years in this Women Together Connect session. My name is Antoinette, and I'm one of the hosts and part of a wonderful little team who's been pulling this off for the last couple of years. And today's session feels really important because it speaks to the core of what we do and why we do this. It's called resilience and renewal. And I find that really what we've been cultivating is a community of practice that is really cultivating resilience. So as we experience times of disruption and chaos, global pandemic, and many more kind of large scale, and also in our own lives, events and crises, it is actually really powerful to have a circle of women that can gather together and support each other and lift each other up and remind ourselves that we're not alone. So whether you've been with us week after week, I see many of you who are familiar faces week after week, or you've been here time and again, or you may just be joining for the first time. A warm welcome to each and every one of you. It's great to see us all here together. So what I'd like to invite you to do is share. Many of you are already doing it in the chat. And so I'm just looking at it here. I see a number of us already sharing where we're coming in from and what we're experiencing. Some of us are sharing the weather. It's often a joy to know that we're each holding this little piece on planet Earth, and that we are sharing together. So I see Arlington, Massachusetts, Bloomfield, Connecticut, overcast Winchester, Massachusetts, Sweden, New York City, Southern California, Merced, California, autumn greetings from North Dakota, Deanne from Southbury, Connecticut, welcome, Lake Oswego, Southern California. We're getting into the autumn equinox. Yes, we're just entering this time. Marlborough, Vermont, Berkeley, California, Beachside, Chicago. I don't know those two words together, Beachside and Chicago, but it sounds great. Brooklyn, New York, wonderful. So we really are coming in from all over. And today, I'm sitting in Austin, Texas, and it's quite warm here. And it, reminds me that many of us have been able to travel and start some of us to get together in person. That may not be true for everyone, but there really is this magic that happens when we come together, and we've been able to hold that on Zoom, which is incredibly powerful, that we've been able to have this circle of connection and support for one another, and really kind of building a sense of, as I've been talking about, a community of practice. And I say that because as we start to develop a language and how we connect with each other, we start to build a muscle in ourselves, a muscle for resilience. So when the next thing comes, we're much more prepared. We're ready for it. We can kind of say, bring it on, rather than I'm not ready, I don't know how to deal. It becomes a muscle that we can strengthen. So this muscle of resilience can be really powerful. And the other piece of today is about renewal. And many of us, I'm actually sitting at the University of Texas at Austin today. And this experience of being on an academic year, or for those of us who celebrate the Jewish holiday or Jewish calendar, the new year starts next week, early next week. And for those of us who are attending to the equinox, we are also moving into equinox time, so the changing of the seasons. moving into autumn for those of us in the north, but moving into a shift of seasons around the world, a shift into the new. For some of us in autumn, it's a letting go experience, and resilience and renewal can really come from a place of letting go, as we've talked about many times in our Women Together Connect session. So today I will share a little bit more. We will hear from each other in the chat, and then we will do a tiny practice. We love to do tiny practices because they allow us to just take a little moment out of our day, a little moment out of our lives, and do this deep work of connecting. It doesn't take much. We sometimes say, oh, I need to go to a retreat or do that deep work and hours of a group or one-on-one or something like that. But the reality is we can get a taste. We can reconnect with ourselves and plug in at any point in time during the day. So we do these tiny practices to remind ourselves of that and to practice with each other. Because when we do it alone, it's a good practice. But when we do it together, we experience that in a collective. So, and that strengthens not only our, one physical body, but also our collective social body. So we will just do a little moment of stillness, and you can do this at any time. We often in Eileen Fisher do it in the beginning of our meetings. So we brought it into this Women Together Connect space, and those of you who have been there week after week, as I see many of you, we do this every single time we come together. So it's good to have this continuity of practice, almost a ritual. So I invite you to, wherever you are, if you can get your feet flat on the ground, if you can just feel a sense of connection to the earth. And just take a deep breath and relax. And if you like me, or if you can hear through my device, if you have sounds, or if you have distractions, some of us have pet distractions or people distractions, just letting those things be. Sometimes those distractions can be thoughts. So sometimes we experience in the mind, as we slow down, we have the thought about what's going to happen next, or the grocery list, or the, whatever it is that's going on. And so just for a moment, it's not about actively saying, I don't want those thoughts, or I don't want that distraction, or I wish it wasn't there, even if that's true. It's about just being with what is. This is what's here right now. So just tuning in for a moment to what's here, just holding an awareness of it and then letting it go. So focused awareness and then letting it go. So that may prove to be impossible. We're not letting go. Maybe it's just there. We just keep staying with it. But just noticing the quality of our attention today, the quality of our awareness. So we'll start just by focusing on the breath. As you focus on the breath, feeling the breath move in to the body and move out. Just feeling the sense of connection of the breath to the nostrils, into the body, and then releasing out. And I'll let you just take a moment of stillness to follow your own breath. Just continue to follow the movement of the breath in and out of the body, and just notice if other things come up, just notice them, and then maybe thank them and let them go. And then tuning the awareness and the attention back to the breath. Then before you turn your attention back to the screen, just for a moment noticing, what was that experience like? What was that like? Was I able to stay attuned and aware of the breath? Did I get distracted? Was I even able to relax? Sometimes we can't even get into it. It's like, I know it's just this minute and then the real thing is going to happen. So I can't even do it. So just noticing for a moment, what came up for you? How was that? Is it easy or difficult for me today? Just noticing what's there. And you can just type in the chat, or if you're on YouTube, in the comments section, and I'll just take a few. How was that for you? So I see already in the chat, rituals ground us from earlier. Yes. So what was that like for you? And just take a moment, type in the chat, and I will share a few out. Okay, so I'm using my other device to pull up all these chat messages, and I love it coming in. And I love the variation. And this is the thing, often we think, oh, I'm doing it wrong. You're doing it exactly how you're doing it. And that's that's it. That's what's happening. So I love this. So immediately we got coming home, and immediately difficult. Too many things on my to-do list. Quiet, relaxing, letting go, peaceful, a chance to slow down and be here. A ride. First, there was ease, then the to-do thoughts joined, and I felt it in my heart, then ease again. Another one, I'm with Francis, too many distractions today. Oh, I love this. Wonderful. My spirit guide said, I love you, Doreen Audrey Stern, while my breath made a cocoon for me. And how beautiful is that? That sometimes, even in that short little moment, we can find that inner guide, the inner voice that allows for us to tune into that space of renewal and resilience. That just one little moment I can turn back in. Easier to do with a group. I find that as well, that this experience, it can really be much more inviting. I feel much more motivated to do it with a group or with somebody else. I have a buddy, or I have a group of these wonderful women here that I can do this with. Oh, I love this too. Worked in the garden this morning, and this breathing exercise has really relaxed me. Well, working in the garden in and of itself can be a meditative experience. So this moment of getting to actually decompress from the activity can be really a beautiful piece as well. Remember to remember. Thanks, Esther. I remember I asked Eileen, I was like, how do you remember to wiggle your toes, to wake yourself up, And she was like, that's exactly the question, remembering to remember. Easy and familiar, a well-needed space where one opens up. Thank you. Oh, lovely. We have one in the YouTube as well. I lost a friend last week. Her memory came to me. Thank you for sharing. And, so much, we are always dealing with so much, this topic of resilience and renewal. It's needed all the time. I thought, oh, we'll do a topic on resilience one week, and then I realized actually the topic of resilience could be our topic every single week, and we'd still need it. So here we are. So I'm curious, what brought you here? What brought you here today to this experience of resilience and renewal? And perhaps it's just being with this wonderful group of women. Perhaps there's another reason behind it, but I'd love to just see in the chat what brought you here today. And then we'll do a little invitation to connect with each other, first foray into that connection. But what brought you here today? And you might do a little inquiry. Yesterday I was at the IBM design studio here in Austin, and they said it's like the annoying 5-year-old, why? And when you do that, you actually get to the bottom of something. There's a trail where it ends, and you can see what really brought me here today. So I invite you to take that as deep as you'd like. I love this. It's Tuesday at noon. I rushed to be here. Today is my birthday, and I thought I would love to celebrate resiliency and renewal with this lovely community. Happy birthday to Naya, right? I love to see it. Happy birthday, a warm wishes to you. We're glad that you were born and that you're here and that you're part of this community, and that we'll send you all warm wishes in the chat here. But we celebrate you. We celebrate you and this wonderful contribution that you have of your bringing your light to the world. I love it. So I see happy birthdays coming into the chat. This space is my compass. I see somebody is off of their sling. So no more sling for me. I'm so renewed. I'm getting over COVID. This is a good one. I love this. We're in a celebratory mood today here in Women Together Connect. Cultivating resilience is one of my core values. It has helped me survive many illnesses, injuries, and losses over time. Oh, and another one of us lost a friend this week, so we're needing some support. And that's the thing, right? We're resilient, and then we need to refresh. We need to refresh and move into a space of really feeling renewed. Even after grief, or even during the kind of rolling waves of grief. So thank you for sharing. I missed the group as I was away again for a while. Happy to be with everyone again. Wonderful. Thank you all for sharing a bit. And now I'd like to invite us in to share with each other just a little presence. So regardless of what's going on for you, I'd like to just invite you to welcome yourself here. So welcoming yourself here. And we do this in a smaller version most weeks, but I thought I'd do a little bit of a more extended version today. And just taking a deep breath, feeling your own presence. Maybe put a hand on your chest or just above your heart, maybe a hand on the belly, and just feeling a sense of connection here to this space. Just feeling, am I here fully? Can I draw myself in? Maybe share a little welcome to myself, thanking myself for making it here today. And knowing that there's a deep well in here. There's a deep well of resilience. So much that I can draw upon. And then from this place, I'd like to invite you to connect with the screen and connect with each other. And send a warm welcome. So if you're on Zoom, you can do this on gallery view. So you click into gallery view and you can make sure that you can see everybody. And if you can get on video, this is a great time to do it. And I already see the waves coming. It's as soon as we see each other and we really see and feel each other. There's a bit of a difference of just kind of being on Zoom and connecting with the screen versus that feeling of, oh, you're here. Hi. I see you. I feel you. And not only do I see you seeing me, I can also feel you. And then I can feel you feeling me. So this connection, this ability to connect with each other, it actually runs into our nervous system. It connects with our nervous system. I can feel you. Even though I can't physically touch you right now, I can feel you. So just noticing that this is a capacity that we have. And I love seeing all these wonderful faces. This is a capacity we have to see each other, to feel each other, and that goes beyond words. So today we're going to do a little practice of going beyond the words. So I'd like to invite you to just, if you have a paper and pen, you can pick it up. And it's really lovely, to do it. But we have a wonderful teacher, Arwana Hayashi, who comes in often. And this morning I just attended her book launch in Taiwan. And that was fantastic to just see communities around the world who pick up her work and carry it forward. But she founded Social Presencing Theater, and I thought we could do a little activity of hers today. So we can start with just jotting down some thoughts. And I'd like to just invite you to consider, so you can put the pen to paper. This is our first embodiment act of using the work of the hand to allow what's moving through onto the page. And just jot down, what's frustrating for me lately? So what's frustrating for me? It could be anything. It could be a little thing. What's frustrating for me? This morning I had to find 5 different ways to get to this building, and then I couldn't leave this building. Whatever it is, that was my story, but it could be any story that you're holding. What's frustrating for you? And just write that down on your pen and with your pen and paper. Then as you write down what's frustrating, the next question is what's energizing you? And often what's frustrating us is giving us a lot of energy, or we're putting a lot of energy into it. But regardless, what's energizing you? What's been energizing you lately? What's giving you a lot of energy when you take it on? Then if you could write some of the seeds of the future that you've been feeling over the last few days and weeks. So maybe it's something in your life that you haven't really been doing much of, but maybe it's a hobby you've taken up recently, or maybe it's a conversation that really gave you a lot of energy. But you can see, oh wow, I'd like to do more of that. So for me, I picked up writing again. I hadn't been writing my thoughts and feelings down, but that's a seed of the future. Oh, I've been writing, like I've been getting my thoughts out. So what is the seed of the future that you've been sensing in your own life, or perhaps it's in your work world, where whatever you may be? I know some of us have been in some pretty big transitions of our lives. So what is it that you've been sensing as seeds of the future that are already showing themselves in your own life? Seeds of the future. All right, and now I'm going to invite us these last minute or two here for a little embodiment activity. So if you close your eyes, no one can see you. So I'm going to invite you to do that. Close your eyes. No, I'm going to invite you to stand up first, then close your eyes. So we'll actually stand up together. And what I'd like you to do is just close your eyes and just have a few feet of space in front of you. So close your eyes. And just for a moment, I'd like for you to see a door. So in your mind's eye, perhaps it's a door or a gate. And on the other side of that gate is your future self. It is your field of possibility. So perhaps it's your happy place. Perhaps it's what you're stepping into in your own life. You don't know exactly what's on the other side of the door, but you know that it's there. You know that it's there. And you can see the door, and maybe just take in some of the details of the door, what it looks like, what it feels like. And in just a moment, I'm going to invite you to open the door and step through to the other side and see what's there. So with your eyes closed, take a moment and open the door and step through. So physically take 1 or 2 steps forward. And just see what's here as you step into this field of the future. And feel into the body what this feels like. Perhaps this has a particular quality or feeling. Perhaps there are details that you can see. Perhaps this stage doesn't feel exactly what you want it to feel like. Maybe there's another door. Maybe there's another level. So just taking a moment and seeing if there's another door, you can take 1 or 2 steps forward into that second space and see if there's something else there for you. And perhaps this space feels better. So just noticing what's around you. What are you stepping into? What does it feel like here? And just notice if the space in this one or the one before this felt better. You can stay in one or the other. And just find the field of the future, that place where you feel like you've stepped fully into this being. And I'd like you to take a body position. So you can move your arms or your direction of your body, maybe the tilt of your head, and just feel into this position. Perhaps there's a particular body position that really embodies the seed, the field of the future that is emerging for you now. Just stand fully in that position. You don't have to use the mind to come up with a position, just allowing the body to find its position in this field of the future. Embodying this seed of possibility. And I'd like you to remember this position and then let it go. Remember this position and let it go. And then turn, you can look back at the chair where you just stood up from and see yourself, current reality self, and see her sitting there. And just notice if there are any words or thoughts that come up, any words from this position, what comes up when you look back at that chair and you see her sitting there? Just noticing any words or phrases. And then you can return to the seat and write those down. Write down any words or phrases that may have come up. And as Doreen mentioned earlier, this is at times connecting with that inner inner guide, right? The inner guide knows. So just listening to what does she have to say to us today? What reminders does she have for us about what we're moving into? And as we move in, for those of us who are in Zoom, as we move into our breakout, we'll share with each other what came up, what words or phrases. If you'd like, you can share your image. And you could even share, this is my current reality right here. We've done sculpture 1 and sculpture 2, right? So this is my current reality. I'm here. But actually what I'm moving into is here. And just feel into that. And what you can do is share with each other what you saw. What I saw was this closed up, tense experience. And then when you moved in here, I felt a lightness or whatever it is. Doesn't need to be that much. Share what comes up for you. I want to give you enough time to do it, to get some time together, because that's always the best part. So sharing your name, a little bit about where you're coming from, any of the words or phrases, and if you'd like to share the image of moving from current reality, this was me here in the chair, and this is what I'm moving into. That's wonderful. But enjoy the time together. That's the most important part. Remember that we don't know what the other person had for breakfast, let alone what their life story may be to get them from current reality to this emerging possibility. But just be with the body. The body really has so much wisdom for us. So the body of this individual body, and then our little social body of the 3 or 4 of us who will be in this group. So for those of you on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. If you'd like to sign up for the eidetic imagery circles with Jackie Sussman, those are available. And if not, we'll see you in 2 weeks on our Women Together Connect. And for those of us here, we will move into this lovely little breakout for about 20 minutes. Name, where you're coming from, your words or phrases, and the gesture, current reality to the seed. So enjoy the time, and we'll see you back in 20 minutes.